Good evening, everybody. On, my name is Darren Cruz, and on behalf of the Options Global Ambassadors London, Sharon and Nate, this trip has had a tremendous impact on all of us, and it changed our lives and shaped our futures. And ever since I've gone to London, I've wanted to travel more, and I've done a little bit of that. And I can say the same for the guys who went to South Africa. It's amazing. It's an amazing experience, and they got to experience that, and then they'll pass it on to the future ambassadors as we have, and it's just going to be a great tradition for all of us.
As I'm introducing our ambassadors, our global ambassadors that took a trip to South Africa in March, before we move forward and recognize them, I first want to thank our superintendent, our board members, and all of our donors that have supported us over the last 2 years with the Options Global Ambassadors Initiative. It truly was a joy to work with the 3 ambassadors that you're going to meet tonight. They said yes to this opportunity in August. And they entered the process that involved securing passports, academic research, mentoring, public speaking, and engaging in weekly meetings that were designed to maintain or develop a sense of respect and self-respect, having confidence in their own abilities, having a vision for their life, and understanding the importance of preparation and determination and how to appropriately apply that in their lives. This process has been filled with anticipation, discomfort, and personal growth. Prior to March 22nd, 2017, none of our 3 guys that you're going to meet in a second had ever been on a plane before. By the time we arrived back home on April 1st, they had been on 6 flights, 4 airports. They learned the true meaning of turbulence. And they were on 2 flights that were 15 and 17 hours, respectively. While in South Africa, we were partnered with the Steve Biko Foundation, and our first leg of the trip was in Johannesburg, South Africa. We had the opportunity to visit Johannesburg National Park. It was the first time that each of us had ever been on a safari. And they were looking for the lions the entire time that we were there, and I acted as if I wanted to see the lions too. But I really wasn't interested in seeing lions in the open cart truck that we were in. But I never let them know that. We also visited the historical city of Soweto. The second leg of the trip was in King Williamstown, and we visited 3 high schools in King Williamstown. And we were also there, and we partnered with the Steve Biko Center, which was a hub for the neighborhood there. We had an opportunity to visit students and talk to staff. And our guys did a truly amazing job as they really poured life and had impact on the students and the people that they met while they were there. They truly became my comrades after I was able to witness what they were able to do, what they were prepared to do. We actually had an opportunity to engage in a community dialogue in which Steve Biko's wife had found out and heard that we were in town and had came to the dialogue that night. In many ways, Steve Biko's wife is sort of the Coretta Scott King of South Africa. Just 6 days prior to us getting there, President Zuma of South Africa, they had honored Steve Biko posthumously on Human Rights Day. And we were there at the gravesite just 6 days after the President of South Africa was there. Had the opportunity to visit the Indian Ocean on the last day after all the work was done. We are very proud of our 3 ambassadors as they did an exceptional job and represented themselves, their family, their district, our school district, our community, our state, with the utmost dignity and respect. And it is evident that these guys are not the same students that we knew in August. That's what the process is all about. It is to take them totally out of their comfort zone, where all they can rely on is who they are and what they have. And when they're able to successfully navigate that terrain, this entire process, including the trip, they realize that everything they need, they already have. And it's a matter of trusting themselves, exploring themselves, and moving forward. And so much of life, as our guys have heard, much of life is defined by the story that we choose to believe about ourselves. And Mr. Holland and I serve as directors to shape that narrative, to help them uncover who they are and who they desire to become. At this time, I'm going to have Mr. Holland introduce our three ambassadors.
They, I think, very pleasantly used to call me the old man of the trip, and at 61 years of age, I guess I would be, but we share a similar distinction. It took me 61 years to get to Africa. It took them 18 and 19. So you can imagine the impact that this trip had to have on these young men, as well as on myself, as Dr. Williams so eloquently gave you the synopsis of this incredible trip. It really, as he said last year, and as we know, it's not really about the trip, though, more than it's about the process leading up to the trip. And I think the process is what really has molded these young men into the great young men that they are, young men that, as Dr. Williams stated, are not just our students anymore, but they actually truly are our comrades, because we weren't on a vacation. We were there actually partnered with 4 different schools, and we did 17-hour days, and we worked and we worked. And these young men were never allowed to sleep, barely allowed to eat. And it was funny because one young man tried to get some sleep one time, and Dr. Williams, in his own way, told him, don't fall prey to the as we put it, the selfishness of sleep. Can you believe that? Don't fall prey to the selfishness of sleep. And one young man said, selfishness? I thought we all needed to sleep. No, not when you're a global ambassador. So I'd like to bring to the podium our first young man to talk a little bit about this journey and this experience. And that is Mr. Tyron Bryant.
Good evening. I'm Tyron Bryant. I'm an Options Global Ambassador. And I would like to thank the superintendent, the board, and all of our donors that supported the Options Global Ambassadors initiative. Going through this process for this trip was a great experience. I remember before all of this, I lacked in confidence, didn't have the resiliency to build my grades up. I just chose to kind of give up. But I noticed I need to get back up and build all of that, created a future for myself. And when I went to the options program, all the teachers, even Coach and Doc, treated me like family. It was a great opportunity to be there. And I noticed I had to do it. I needed to do this to create a future for myself. And I went to school, got good grades, and was on school on time. And I got selected to be an Options Global Ambassador. And I chose to say yes to that opportunity, and the power of yes got me here. And without all that preparation, I wouldn't be standing here looking at everyone in their eyes. I was a person to look down all the time. And going through the process of going to schools like Noble, Monticello, Fairfax, and also being a mentor. I love kids, and connecting with them was fun. And going to the trip to South Africa, everybody there respected all 3 of us with respect, and looked at us like we was famous to them. And I learned about them that they're not different from us. Like, we're the same. The only thing that we're different is their accent. And what I learned about myself is I had a story to tell, that I can change their life. Speaking to them about myself opened doors for them, to let them know that wow, I'm like him. If I had bad grades, I got bad grades just like him, maybe I can change for myself. And it was a great opportunity speaking in front of them. And the best part of the process was connecting with students. Now, now they see me and be all happy, like, oh my God, when you gonna see us again? Can text me and all like that. And the best part about the process was the community dialogue, talking to Mother Biko, and she told us that we were similar to Steve Biko. I admit, I've cried when she said that to me, and it was a great opportunity. And I was never thinking about college before all of this. And without Coach and Doc, I wouldn't be standing here and going to college. I'm going to Tri-C for culinary. And thank you. And me expressing myself about Tri-C gave me an opportunity to go back to South Africa and work for the Steve Biko Center. And this opportunity made me find the new me for myself. And I would have never found myself going to college and all of this if it wasn't for the options program. Thank you.
The next global ambassador that I would like to introduce is a young man who I'm sure his story will be just as intriguing as Tyron was, and this is Mr. Roberto Osorio.
Good evening. I'm Roberto Osorio, and I'm an Options Global Ambassador. I first want to thank the superintendent, the board members, all of our donors that supported us and supported the Options Global Ambassadors Initiative. This wasn't a life-changing experience for me. The process we went through changed me in many ways and impacted me in many ways. It includes our weekly meetings, our school visits, and our mentoring younger students. The process was extremely key in getting rid of self-doubt and revealing characteristic traits that mask insecurities. I developed speaking skills, writing skills, people skills that I can continue to use in the rest of my life to use in any situation. Our program helped me to learn so many things about myself. I learned to be a team player instead of being counterproductive. I learned that I'm resilient. Any task I thought was too big for me, I overcame. I enjoyed so much of the process. I developed confidence. So when I'm unsure of my skill, I know that I can do it even if I'm alone by myself without my ambassadors. Speaking to younger students, mentoring them, giving them hopes and aspirations was extremely great for me. Mentoring students that needed help and guidance put a smile on my face. I also learned about others. People are no different than we think. We're not that different. The language is different, but the feelings behind the words are all the same. When we traveled to South Africa, we were met with nothing but love and acceptance and just joy. We held a community dialogue, and I found my comfort in their presence, sitting with them, speaking about their opinions, and learning about what they thought about us and how things are going in the educational system here and there. When we traveled to South Africa, I experienced a variety of emotions: fear, pain, happiness, hope, and excitement. And then too, experience fear, pain, happiness, hope, and excitement. And I realized we share common experience. the human experience. And the human experience is inescapable. Thank you.
They're gonna make me get emotional again. I won't do it. I won't do it. The next young man that I would like to introduce is a senior in our options program. And he too, I'm sure, will have a story that will be one that I'm sure will leave you very, very, very much mesmerized. And this is Mr. Deshaun Gibson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Deshaun Gibson. I first want to thank the superintendent, the board members, and all of our donors that helped support the Options Global Ambassador Initiative. This has been an amazing experience, from the process to the trip and to now being able to speak in front of everyone in this room. My first couple of years of high school, freshman and sophomore, I didn't make the best choices. I wasn't determined to do the work. I wasn't confident. I had a lot of self-doubt, wondering whether I could do it. Was I ready for that next step? And could I make it? Because I was behind, and I didn't think that I had what it takes to get ahead. And things that I've never thought about, college, my future, where I wanted to be in the matter of the next 10 years. I've never thought of that before coming to the options program. And it was one night where I sat on my bed, I was behind, I was worried, I was afraid of where I was gonna go next, to where I thought that I was gonna drop out of high school because it became so hard for me to get my act together, to get to where I needed to be. Then I was accepted into the options program, where things began to change. I came into the options program thinking that this could be my last chance, my last shot to get back on track, to be where I need to be, to set myself up to be successful. And coming into the options program, the teachers, Dr. Williams, Mr. Holland, embrace you as family. They want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you fail, because they know what you've already gone through is similar to students that they've already had. And they want you to know that you have it inside of you to do whatever you want, to be whoever you want to be. And sometimes we just don't realize that. So it's their job, whether they know it or not, and they showed us that they're here for us, to talk about our problems, whether educational or at home, and just to be a shoulder to lean on, an ear for us to talk into. And I started to get my act together because of this new environment, and started to receive more positive recognition. My family was excited. It's getting straight A's, and my mother was a lot happier. A lot less arguments in that household. Let's just say that. And now I'm starting to realize that I have the potential to do these things, that I can. And I'm starting to think about college now. I'm a junior, and I'm saying that, well, maybe I can do this. Because if I can do it here, what's stopping me from doing it in the next level, that next step of my life? So now I have a vision. Now I know where I want to be. I'm going to Tri-C for 2 years, then I'm going to University of Cincinnati for the next 5. I want to study to be an attorney. I want to go to law school. That's where I want to be. And I know that going into this field and going into college, I have to build upon my strengths. I have to build on my weaknesses even more. And I have to trust my skills and also improve on them. And being an Options Global Ambassador has only helped strengthen those skills, because immediately when you walk in the door, when you turn in a paper to Dr. Williams because you need luggage or someone's donating luggage and they want to give you this, but you have to write a paper, he'll immediately tell you, it wasn't bad. but it wasn't great. So he gives us this criticism to only make us want to do better, to want to get to where we need to be, to get those skills at the level that they should be going off into college. And it made it easier as I am right now talking in front of you guys. Before this process, I would have never been able to do this, ever. I was scared. I didn't think that I could talk in front of groups of people and express my feelings or even just talk about myself, the person that I know most. I didn't think that I would be able to talk about myself. Then I came to realize that I have a story to tell, and people are listening. People want to hear what I have to say. And that's what I came to realize in South Africa. That's what I was met with when I stepped off the plane, with nothing but joy, love, open arms. And people wanted to hear my story. They wanted to hear what I had to say. And when I talked to the students, this was the most enjoyable part for myself, was all I did was talk about myself, my hardships, what I've gone through, my self-doubt, my insecurities. And I connected with those students because they realized that I'm going through the exact same things that they're going through. I'm just in America. I'm going through the exact same problems that they're going through. And they saw that, well, if he can do it, why can't I do it? If he can get over these hardships and think about just now vision himself in the next level of college, well, why can't I? And I was took aside, and a teacher told me that after what you said today, after you just sharing your feelings, you helped change lives. You've helped open doors. You helped open these students' minds. And I've never heard that before. I've never heard that I've helped change a life, open someone's mind into higher thinking, because this is what they've never gotten before. A peer telling them that they can get through this, that is hard, but you just have to stick to it. You have to believe in yourself and trust in yourself and get that confidence, that determination, and be where you want to be. Vision yourself where you want to be, and it's already done. You have it inside of you, and you can do whatever. Thank you.
Before we finish, we want to thank Dr. Williams and Mr. Holland for giving us this opportunity, watching over us, keeping us focused now, even now, before the trip, after the trip. Y'all like our fathers, one of them like role models for us. And we appreciate everything that y'all done for us. And it's something we're not going to forget, and we're going to make y'all proud.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.